You saw the thumbnail, you know what's coming. I took these big old blocks of styrofoam and I made this. In this video, I'll walk you through my build process from painting to adding floors so you can make your own Dio products out of garbage. I spotted these gorgeous chunks of white environmental killers in my neighbor's garage when they were getting ready to throw them out. Pretending to check my mail let me get a good look at these, and I knew I had to have them. I told my wife, text them now, don't let them throw them away. The blocks are huge, 12 inches high and 3 feet long. Here are all 5 of them end to end. It's just massive. Spray paint dissolves styrofoam, and if you mix it with gasoline, you get napalm. So I needed a base coat that wouldn't melt my face and protect the foam. I used some cheap acrylic paint, flour, Mod Podge or PVA, and salt. Why flour and salt? Keep watching and I'll show you. Delicious. And now your cake is ready to eat. Here I'm using one of our forks to mix it up. What my wife doesn't know. Watch the bottom as the glue and the flour tends to stay in these little pockets of grossness. Slap it on. Don't be shy. Make it thick. Paint, paint, paint. Wrist cramps. Paint, paint, paint. The interior has all these weird nooks and cracks and just buttresses. I think these are buttresses. So after I painted it, I realized I probably need to get those out of there. 1, it makes for uneven areas, and 2, I need to put some floors in. Hey, here's a fun sound. It's okay, I was fine with cutting them because I had to put a second coat on anyways, but in the future, I would have cut first, then paint. I had to whip up another batch of base coat there. Go back to the beginning of the video, replay it, and then come back here. Once applied, I did a pretty good job of hiding all the gaps in the styrofoam. I depend on the final paint job in order to hide the rest of those gaps. And here's what that flour did. Check this out. Nice and hard, like a big old candy shell in it. I would not bite into this though. Now it's time to put in the interior floors. I just took a piece of styrofoam core and started slicing it up. I had to measure this by sections because of those buttresses that I left in there, so I do piece by piece. I needed these floors to be high enough so the shooter could look over the walls and be at name tape defilade, aka just enough to be able to reach that rifle over and give the rest of their body cover. And even Finn wanted to get involved. No, get out of here. And here it is, looks pretty good, right? Right level of height, get that rifle over there. But then I realized I had them facing the wrong way. Now when they look over the wall, yeah. So, starting over. Because this was protected with that hard candy shell, I went ahead and used spray paint. I almost went with a tan or some sort of industrial colors, but I wanted these to be a little alien, like these were on some sort of outpost in our frontier world. So I picked this rust red, and then I added some tan to it to kind of blend it out. I'm gonna be honest, this was better than I had imagined, and it was completely by accident. Here's the worst fear I have for any project, that I've gone through all the work of measuring, cutting, testing, recutting, and then I start experimenting with stuff thinking that it'll go well. Such as when I Mod Podged here, thinking it would waterproof the styrofoam core, when in fact it just ended up warping it. Yep, that's frustrating. I still managed to fit them in there, and I just had to bend slightly without creating a crease, and then slide them in. So definitely not using Mod Podge to try and quote unquote waterproof those again. Even with measuring these pieces out, there were too many gaps and crevices, and I was creating stopgap pieces that would overlap. It kind of looks like a mess, so I came up with another solution for the later walls, and I'll go back and fix this one too. To help hide all those ugly seams, I'm just gonna take some cardstock, slice it, and cover up those gaps, so at least it looks like it's one solid piece with maybe a few breaks in there. That turned out pretty well. For the two shawties, there's no interior floor space, but this one, unlike the other piece, had this weird gap in there, and I started thinking of what I could use these for, and I was like, you know what, these are just big old blocks, maybe they don't need to have any people in here, they can be gun towers. It did have some weird labeling on the top, so I just sliced some cardstock and hid that up. And digging into the greebles, let's see what we can find here to help spruce up these walls. Yep, there's a big old turret, and another turret, and two more turrets. Here we go, this is what I want to use. These are cannons from the Defiant system, RIP my Defiants in pieces here. I spray painted them gray and then silver, took some simple lemonade lids, put a screw through the bottom, zip zip zip, and you got some cannon turrets. With the walls being 12 inches high and the floor being at least 8 inches tall, it was a little hard to put some figures to reach the top of the walls, so I needed to make some ramps. Cutting up some insulation foam, I just sliced some easy ramps, and there it is. I used some house paint on those ramps. It turned out more baby blue than I wanted, so I'm gonna go back and do a dark wash over them to darken those up, but I didn't want them just to be the same color as the rest of the structure. And here's the best part about working with foam. Yeah, they're all lined up inside, but I wasn't quite done. I needed to add some more texture, some greeble work to these things to really kind of bring them to life. And look what I got from Mecha 3 Station. So I ordered these terminals first, and this dude generously threw in some stuff, knowing I was working on these walls. Cargo containers and crates, cool terminal, and some other greeble works to go on the walls. So I got to painting. Now, I've never painted resin like these before too, so this was a trial and error. I'm not gonna go over the tutorial on how I messed these things up, but it was really cool to be able to have these accessories to add on to the wall. And here they are. Here's the finished products, or mostly finished.